Hello, welcome to WeighPay. In this video, we're going to address the WeighPay 1 product line. We're going to talk about our inventory solution, and we're going to talk about how we can take inventory into our system, how that inventory can be transferred and or regraded, reclassified into new products that then can be ready for sale. So we have a raw inventory, a prepared inventory, and so that's the two sections that we're going to talk about today. Of course, at that point, you could also sell and start shipping that product out, but that's not going to be covered in today's video. Today, we're just going to simply talk about how do we move inventory from the incoming, once we purchase it, to prepare it and send it to outgoing, where it can then be sold. So in the WeighPayOnline.com, we have three different methods of moving inventory, and so you can simply transfer inventory, and that would just move from anything from this level to the unprepared to the ready for sale level. So that's just a straight move. There's no regrading, it's just simply moving that inventory over. Then you have a regrade ticket. On a regrade ticket, we can select a commodity like this one. We have 5,000 pounds in inventory. We can take and decide that, hey, we found 1,000 pounds of some other product, and so we want to move that 1,000 pounds into another product. So we're going to move that into aluminum extrusion clean, and we are then going to move the full 1,000. Now we could move less than that. We could say, well, let's move 900 and then add another commodity, and therefore we could move it into a one-to-many. As many commodities as you want, you can separate that 1,000 pounds as many times as you need to into other products. It's also going to track the cost as well of what the average cost was when it was purchased. It'll move that average cost out of the original and move it into the new product. So the new product will have the new cost impacted. So if we were just going to do the full 1,000, we would hit the add, and you can see there's 0 pounds left to this. Now, we do have the ability to track waste products, and you could then attribute some into the net. You could make comments on this regrade if you want to make comments of what you found, maybe what supplier it was, what have you. You can do start and end dates, so that way you can track how long it took to do this regrade. And then, of course, you can also track who was the regrade user. So that way, this regrade ticket is going to move 1,000 pounds from my unclean blocks to my 6061 clean, and we're going to hit the regrade button. So that has now created a regrade ticket of 1134. We can print that ticket out, and it's going to show us this was our from, this is our to, and you can see that there even was cost involved, and it took that 150 from here and put that 150 down there. So, and you can see we didn't leave any comments or any of that. So that's the basis of moving inventory from here to here, and we'll show you a little bit some of the inventory reporting that would give us even further details of that movement. So again, unprepared inventory shows you your available units. Any freight that was paid for that product would be tacked on top of it, and so you could see the available units, the available value that was invested. And so you can see the value of this freight was put into here. And then if this was your market price, your sale price, then you could see that you're carrying 176% margin and that you've got about $1,000 profit in this product right now sitting in your yard. So our system easily tells you exactly what your profit is on a per line item basis based on your market price that's in the system. So once again, we can hit the regrade button, start that regrade process. We also have the ability just to transfer inventory, and this would be just selecting the location. So this is a multi-location product, and then I could select aluminum, and then I could move that whole aluminum group. So everything in aluminum could go from incoming to outgoing. So I could go down to the individual commodities, and so if I wanted to choose aluminum 6160, I've got 7,300 pounds, and I could transfer that right now out of my incoming to my outgoing, meaning that it's prepared and it's ready for sale. So you can just do a straight movement if you want. You don't have to do a regrade. You can just simply move it from in to out. However, there are times when there's a good reason for the ability to automate that process. And so if we go into our number one Bear Bright chops, you're going to see here that if I go to product settings, I'm going to select my product. I can then automatically regrade this product. So we've already got the chops. This is my from product. Now we're going to do the to product. So if I want to take and go down into my copper and say, listen, let's just move 100% of this, or let's say 90%, because we know the other 10% is going to be manually moved, because we could find on average 10% of a different type of product, whether it's waste, whether it's a contamination, or whether it's a different resellable product. You could then track that. So from here, I can just say, let's do 90%. That would automatically regrade from my incoming to my outgoing on an automated basis. So thereby, every time I buy a pound, 90% of that pound is going to be distributed or pushed to my #1 copper chops in my outgoing inventory. So automatically transfer. So if I hit the add, now you're going to notice I have 10%. So where's this other 10% going to go? So that 10% could automatically be red brass borings, or that 10% could be some other commodity where you're like, nope, that's copper pipe or copper bronze borings. And so you could then attribute this other 10%. So now out of 100% of my bare bright, 90% is going to remain bare bright, but 10% is going to become bronze borings. So every time we do a purchase, it'll automatically split my inventory and my costing appropriately into the system. So there's automated regrades, manual regrades, and the transfer of inventory. So again, we can manually, we can transfer, or as in this case, we went to product settings and we set up an auto regrade. So that's 3 ways in our system for you to be able to ship your inventory out and manipulate the different pounds. If we go back to the aluminums, you can see here that you can search by this. I can look at my incoming inventory. This is my outgoing inventory. And I also have a bottled beverage CRV inventory for California recyclers. So pretty simple system to use, but kind of gives us a lot. Now, we do have inventory reports, so we can run a report, a summary report. You can run a report on a per day basis to look at your inventory on a daily basis, or you can just run the report in general. And so to run the summary report, again, is just going to show us, this was my inventory report. This is what I had before. This is what came in today. This was what was transferred to my outgoing or was sold. And so the system brings it all together for you and tells you that here's what's left on stock. So you can see here that was 50,000. Now it's 51,000, because you can see 1,000 pounds came in during this date range of today. So the system has a good report engine, and we can also go to reports, inventory reports, and you can see those incoming shipping reports from other locations. So if you're transferring from location 1 to location 2, you can see any kind of transfer reports, regrade reports, any of your shipping reports, and then of course even further into your inventory reporting. So as I mentioned before, our system does have the full ability for us to parse our reports and run them on a daily basis as well. You can see here that you can just look at your incoming, your outgoing. You can look at it per product, so you have a lot of filters. But you can also look at your inventory containers, so your bins. So this would be looking at anything that is prepared on stock, anything that has been shipped, or all on stock and shipped. And so this would be for your finished goods. So once again, I could drill into the specific product if I want to, but this would show me my inventory when I create a pallet, bin, or a container and I want to sell my batteries. Who did I sell them? When did I sell them? What was the pack time? What was the ship time? What was the bill of lading? And what was the company that I sold to? So this gives us the ability to sell our inventory in packages, or bins, containers, pallets, boxes, gaylords, whatever. So the system has the full ability for you to manage your inventory system and to manage the movement of those inventories. Keep in mind that WeighPay does have an enterprise version, which has a much more robust, with real-time positioning inventory solution. But this is our WeighPay One Solution product. Hope you've enjoyed the video. And remember, WeighPay. So advanced, it's simple.